What's up guys? Today I want to show you how to create an Amazon product listing with variations, okay? So with variations, it goes a couple steps further to make sure that you can get all your colors on there, make sure you get all your sizes, whatever it may be on Amazon. Obviously, if you've been on Amazon, been on Seller Central, they don't make this very straightforward. It is confusing. It's not your fault. This is just Amazon just being classic Amazon, which we all know. So in this video, I'll do my best to make sure I walk through the complete steps, complete process to make this easy on you. That way you're not walking into any mistakes or potential errors or anything that's going to blow your listing up and have you on the phone with seller support for weeks and weeks and weeks trying to fix these issues, which just is just a massive headache. So I'm hoping to make this process super smooth for you guys. That way you can focus on the fun stuff, which is sales and making more money and profit and getting your Amazon business up and running. Just a few more seconds before we hop into my screen and I show you this entire process. But first, I just want to welcome in anybody new to the channel and introduce myself. So my name's Cameron James. I've been selling on Amazon for over 4 years now, which is pretty crazy. My first year, I did $1.3 million in sales, which again, pretty crazy. Long story short with that, guys, is that, I have made so many mistakes on this road to get to where I am today and to have a successful Amazon business. I've just learned a lot in the last 4 years. So this channel is here to help you, avoid the not so obvious mistakes on Amazon, because there's a ton, especially if you're just beginning. That way you're not wasting a ton of time, a ton of money. Trust me, I've done this all. I've made so many mistakes in this business. I've wasted tens and thousands of dollars of my own money in months and months of my own time just from common mistakes, just because I didn't, learn from others, or they weren't so obvious, when you're walking into this business. So that's what I'm here to help you guys with. If you want to make sure that you're learning everything you should be looking out for, what traps to avoid, and how to run a more successful, more profitable Amazon business and get that up and running, then make sure you guys hit that little subscribe button down below and that little notifications bell. I promise you guys will not regret a thing. Otherwise, guys, let's just get started. All right, guys, so hopping into my screen now. This is where we get to the good and juicy stuff here. Of course, give me 5 minutes of your guys' time. Be patient with me. That way you're not clicking off this video before I go ahead and, show you some of the common mistakes that people make. That way you're not on seller support, talking to them for weeks on end, just pulling your hair out. So just give me 5 minutes of your time here. We'll get started right now. So first thing, we're on the Seller Central homepage. So catalog, add products, this is where you want to go to start this whole process. So what we're doing is we're listing a product on Amazon. Then we'll get to the variations, which is within the actual listing of Amazon. So the first thing you do is go to add products right here. So that'll take us to this page here, guys. So the first thing it prompts you to do is, type in your UPC, product name, ASIN, anything like this, to find your product and actually list it. So this is for people doing retail arbitrage, wholesale, or already selling existing product on Amazon. For most people, what I teach my students is private label exclusively. So what we do here is I'm adding a product not sold on Amazon. So if you're trying to get your own listing, guys, this is where you're going to click right down here. I'm adding product not sold on Amazon. The next prompt you'll get is we have to select a product category. So what you can do is you can actually scroll through these, not scroll through, but click through these, keep going down each category until you find what you're looking for. Or you can just search your category here. So for this one, let's do garden gnomes, one of my favorite examples here. So if I click that, it's going to give me, all the categories that match that here. So if I go to this first one here, it's patio, lawn and garden, gardening and lawn and care, garden sculptures and statues, outdoor statues. So that's pretty close here. Obviously, a lot of these would, figurine, lights, not quite. Figurine, yes, that would work. So garden miniatures, figurines, that would be a good one for this. But don't worry about this too much, okay? So you can do some deep research on this to figure out, which category you'd like to be in. But otherwise, guys, I just select the first one that makes the most sense for my product, okay? So next step here, this is where we get into the good, fine details of everything. So the first thing you have to do to get a product on Amazon, this is where a lot of people get confused or misinformation out there on YouTube. You know how it is out there. So you need a UPC to get past this part. Okay, so what Amazon's looking for is a UPC, so they know that you're a legit business. It's a legit product you're bringing onto Amazon, and everything is good to go there. It's kosher. So what we do is we need to go buy a UPC from somewhere else. Where I recommend to get the UPCs is GS1. So GS1 is what Amazon recommends. It's the global standard essentially of barcodes, for products around the globe. So we need to pick that one. There's Barcodes Mania, there's Nationwide Barcodes, but those are third-party barcodes. You know, Amazon's cracking down on this. They're recycled so they could have other brand names attached to them. And if you want to list your own brand on Amazon and not have issues down the road, I suggest go getting yourself a GS1 barcode. I have videos of this on my channel you can check out after this video. Just type in Cameron James barcodes, or I'll put them down in the description below, explaining this whole process in great detail to help you guys out there. So I pulled a barcode here from my GS1 database here. We're going to hit select UPC, so you can select G10 as well. So when you get a GS1 barcode, they give you both UPC, G10, they're the same thing. Use whatever one that just comes to the head first, but that way you guys know. UPC right here, product name, so Jeff's Fantastic Garden Gnomes. Okay, so this is where you put your titles. Product name is title right here. Brand name, especially if you're making variations, guys, too, don't worry about the title so much. The variations are where the titles actually matter. And I'll show you this here in a second. That way you guys know exactly what I'm talking about here. I just want to first explain this part of it to get the basic understanding. This actually won't matter so much with variations, but just give me a second here and we'll get to the variations. So brand name here. It's important to know that Amazon requires you to get brand approval before you list your brand on Amazon. So what this means is they just want pictures of your product packaging with your brand name, with your logo on it, and sent that into Amazon and saying, hey, I want to use this brand name for my next listing. Will you guys approve this? You can also cite Amazon error code 5665 for this to get approval. They'll come back and say, yes, you're good to go here. Then you can list your brand on Amazon. Otherwise, you're going to get an error. So just so you guys know that too, again, I'll link this video down below as well. So I made a video explaining this whole process and I'll put that down below. That way you guys can just watch them all and know exactly how this process works in full here. So you can put your brand name here. So for me, it's going to be Jeff's Garden Gnomes. I might get an error here, but again, that's why I explained it. Something to note here, manufacturer, make sure you put the same thing as your brand name, especially if you're a private label seller. If you're doing wholesale, obviously put that manufacturer in there, but we're not. So when you do private label, when you get products from China, you're the manufacturer technically, and this is going to help you out a ton if you ever want to get brand registered and get trademarked down the line. You want these two to match up right here, okay? Very important, guys. And that's how you start filling this thing out here. So where this doesn't really matter is because this is going to become our parent listing, right? So when we make variations, how it works on Amazon is there'll be a parent listing. So there'll be, when we go to manage inventory, there'll be one listing. There'll be a little drop down. You click this, and there'll be child listings underneath this. So all this is the parent listing will hold the variations underneath it. The parent is just a placeholder essentially, so that you can have the different variations underneath that. So this is what this information is here for. That way, you make sure that it lines up with your child listings down the line. So if we go ahead and click variations here, get to the good stuff. So variation theme. So this part right here, guys, is where you're gonna have to figure out, how do you want to do variations? Are you gonna do it by size, color, flavors, material? Like, what are we gonna do here? Okay, so variation themes, you'll have different ones for different categories on Amazon. So just work with what you got here. So if we select color here, it's going to give us options like blue, green, red, everything like that. A little hack here, guys, is that if you do color or you do size or anything like that, instead of doing color, do color name. Okay, so what color name allows you to do is customize these names. Essentially, it's like instead of giving you pre-selected colors like yellow, blue, green, you could go in there and put in like burnt red or burnt orange or turquoise or blue green. That way you have some ability to be unique and customized, and you have flexibility down the line. So if we're doing color name, do color name here. If you go down here, we have size name and color name. So this is where you have two variations split on your listing. So if you go onto a listing on Amazon, if you know these variations, if you're like me, I still shop on Amazon like every day. So I'm very familiar with this. So you can have two different variations on one listing. So you can have colors on there, so blue, green, red, and then down below that you can have sizes. So maybe a 2-pack, a 4-pack, or maybe a 12-inch or a 24-inch, whatever this may be. And that way you can split this up into two. If your variations go very specific, that's what I mean there. So this is where that comes in. So size name and color name. So you'll be able to put a size name, so maybe it's extra large, large, and then color name, burnt orange, whatever it may be, right? So let's just do this to show you the most extreme example. So size name and color name, I'll click that. You need to specify at least one variation child because of the value selected underneath variation themes. Okay, so all it's saying right here is that we need to input here and input here. That way it has one listing to work with, right? It doesn't want a parent listing all by itself with no children. So size here, we're gonna go ahead and put large, and then color we're gonna put burnt orange. Heck yeah. Sounds extreme. Okay, so we're gonna add that variation right down here. Okay, so what it does is it goes ahead and makes this right here. So we can add as many of these as we want. So if we're gonna list a ton of products at one time, this is where you're gonna wanna do this. Again, if you don't do this when you first make your listing on Amazon, you're gonna have a bunch of ASINs that are separate with no parents, and you can't go back and redo this. So you have to do it this way. That way you have a parent and you can always add variations later, okay? So this is super important. This is why this video is important to follow along and understand. Color here, burnt orange, this is the color map. So this is where I say that you can have the preset colors. I don't put anything here. That way, you know, there's no overlap or anything like that. Product ID, so this is where we go back and grab that UPC. So that's why I said earlier it doesn't really matter for that page, for the UPC, because you're gonna have to put it in again right here. Something to note, guys, a lot of people ask me this, is that if you have, say, like 3 different sizes of t-shirts, will they have to have different UPCs? The answer is yes, okay? So when you go on GS1, you're most likely gonna get a 10-pack of barcodes anyways, and you'll have to use a separate one for each variation of your product. So you need to know that going into this thing. That way you guys aren't, you know, seeing any curveballs, anything like that. Before you do that, condition, we're gonna put new. Obviously, don't lie here, but hopefully if you're doing private label, you're selling new products. So we're gonna hit new here, very important. Then you can put your price right here as well. This is actually replacing the offer page. That's why when you do variations, it's such a different process. So going back down, let's say our garden gnome is $34.99. Quantity, you can just put 0 for now. So this whole thing is actually just for FBM. So if we're doing fulfilled by merchant, which is, you know, me shipping the product from my house to the consumer or the buyer, then this is where it comes into handy to be like, I only have 10 of these in stock, so I'll make sure no one else buys over that. That way Amazon keeps track. But we're gonna do FBA, which is sending in you know, goods to Amazon's FBA warehouse, and they're gonna keep track of all our inventory for us. So it doesn't matter what we put here. Again, if you're doing FBM, obviously you know what to do here, and go ahead and put the quantity right there, but 0 is fine here. So these are actually little bonuses up here if you wanna be more specific. So I can hit size map here. This pops up again. If you wanna do a color map, size map, that's cool there. I usually leave this blank because we already, you know, put large, already put burnt orange, and we can just do this right here with a color name instead of a color map. So seller SKU, you can put a SKU here. So this is actually really important, guys. You're gonna wanna put a SKU in here that you use forever, right? So once you put a SKU, you can't ever change it. But it's something there to help you organize your listing, help you organize all your products, especially if you plan on doing a ton. So we're gonna do large, maybe underscore burnt orange here. That way we know exactly what shirt it is or anything like that. Condition note, if you had a, you know, if say it was like new or like used or used good, you can put a note here and say, hey, this product has, you know, crooked edges or something like that. But again, if you're just selling new, like we should all be doing, hopefully, then you should be all fine here. Next is sale price. So there is some hacks with this, guys, with sale price to you know, make sure your listing is set up for the long run. And that little hack is just, you know, say it's $34.99, but you really want to sell it at 20 bucks. So let's just back up for a second. Let's so say you actually want to sell it for 35 still, like, because that's what we put for the first price. So what we do is actually put this at $49.99, and then we put this at $34.99. So it looks like a sale, right, on our store. And sometimes you get this little slash off on your Amazon product listing that says like this product is $15 off. So people think it's a sale and everything like that. So start date, you just want to put today's date, and then end date, you want to put something. I just go like years into the future. Just click this as fast as I can and go like this and click one of those. So I just put that really far out in the future there. One thing to note, guys, real quick, is that you could get an error down here if you're not brand approved. That whole process I explained earlier about sending in pictures of your product to Amazon to get brand approval. If it comes back negative and you get the error, this process is gonna get a little more messy. Again, get that brand approval first. I'll link that video down below. So after this video, you can quickly watch this, get it all figured out, put all the pieces together, and make this, like I said, I just wanna make this as straightforward as possible for you guys. That way you can focus on the fun stuff, which is selling products on Amazon, and that way you're not, you know, sitting on phone with seller support, all that crazy stuff. So that's how you guys do that here. So let's add another one real quick. So we'll do size, we'll do small, and then we'll do blue, okay? So we add variations, and then we have our second product here, okay? So we can just keep doing this with all our products. Again, you just need that UPC that is unique to each product. Put new here, of course. Put that, not collectible, hit new here. Put your UPC here, your price, your seller SKU for this one, which would be small and blue. So we do small underscore blue. That way we're staying organized, everything like that. I like how I started talking about t-shirts when we're actually talking about garden gnomes when we first started. So we'll do a small blue garden gnome. This is what we're doing here. And then we just keep adding them, right? So do XX or XXL, right? And then we're gonna do pink, right? Nothing like a triple XL that is in pink. So we're gonna do that one right there, everything like that. A little pro hack just from selling experience, guys. If you're doing a product with variations, try to pick the ones that are selling the most on Amazon first and expand slowly from there, just because if you're a new seller, it's really hard to sell 10 different SKUs at your first go at it. So maybe just pick the first or the second most popular SKUs that the competition is selling. Sell those first, get cash flow from that, then expand slowly from there. That way you're not overwhelmed for selling one XXX pink shirt per month, where you can just sell a ton of the small blue ones and make your money from that, right? Just because it's just an extra SKU for one sale a month or something like that, definitely not worth it. So a little pro hack there, guys, and everything like that. That's how we add variations, okay? So we can go through here. So offer, we don't have to worry about this now because we have variations. It's all done on that page, okay? But here we can select, I will ship this item myself, merchant fulfilled, like I talked about earlier, or FBA. So we select FBA here. Images, if you have any images, you don't need them at first. You can just literally save this, save this right here as it is. Once you obviously get through all the errors, which for this one, the value is missing just because I haven't put the dates right here. So make sure all the errors are clear before you save and finish. But images, you don't need this. You can just literally save this. Go to manage inventory right here, which we can do real quick, and grab your FNSKU, right? So this is why we're probably doing this. So we can go to this, your product will pop up here. Obviously these will be all blurred out just to protect some products on our accounts. If we go down here and we select this guy right here, we have a bunch of pop-ups right here. So we can send replenish inventory, say we're ready to make a shipment order in. We could do that real quick. What I was talking about here, guys, is print item labels. So the FNSKU, right? So once you put the UPC, which is just think about it as a universal product code, which is literally what it stands for, that Amazon wants just to get a listing onto Amazon, okay? So once that's done, Amazon says, okay, this is a legit product. You're listed on Amazon. Now we want you to use our FNSKU, which is the Amazon barcode. It's how they organize all their products in their inventory, in their warehouses. And so we can click this right here, print item labels, and then get them to whatever we want. This is just the sizes, right? So you can literally go and pick up different Avery sticker labels and print this at home, or you can just grab one of these. I usually just do 21 up. Grab one of these, and I'll get a PDF of just that one barcode, and then I'll go ahead and give it to my manufacturer to print on the box or do the sticker labels myself. Otherwise, if Amazon does this, they charge like 20 cents a unit, which is just absurd. Your Chinese manufacturer should do this for a lot less, like 1/10 the price. So that's how you guys do that there. All right, guys, so I hope that was straightforward. I hope that really helped you guys out. Of course, any comments down below, any questions down below, I should say, I'll put them in the comments. I try to answer all these myself and really get back to you guys. That way I'm helping you guys out. If you're in a situation where you've already made your listing and you're trying to add variations to it without a parent listing, let me know down in the comments below. That's a whole nother ball game. It's a whole other project you have to tackle. But if you're in that situation, enough people comment down below and say they need help with that situation, I'll make a video covering that because that one's a little harder. So this is why I made this video. It's more proactive to make sure that you're not in that situation. To make sure you're not in that situation, of course. But otherwise, guys, if you're in that situation, let me know in the comments down below. And of course, guys, if this video is helpful, smash that like button for me. Just poke it wherever it is on your screen. It helps me, tremendously get this video out to more people. And of course, subscribe down below. Hit that little notifications bell. If you want more help and want to avoid issues with your Amazon business like I have, I try to go out of my way to make sure that you guys don't waste time and thousands of dollars like I have in my business. Otherwise, guys, I'll put all those other videos down in the description below. That way you can just watch those real quick. Again, I have tons of video on my channel. Go watch all of them. If you can be prepared for this whole business, I share a ton. Otherwise, the more specific videos I'll put in the description below. And that's it, guys. Good luck, and hopefully talk to you soon.